Welcome to the annual organizational meeting of Council for Monday, December 7th, 2015 in City Hall Council Chambers. I'd like to welcome Don and Brett, Freeman of the City, to our meeting this evening. Councillors, we have an agenda in front of us, including any late items. Motion to approve the agenda as distributed would be in order.
So moved, Mr. Mayor. Second, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. So good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for coming to the organizational meeting of the City of Port Alberni. I would like to begin by recognizing my fellow council members with me here tonight, as well as residents, friends, family, and city staff who are also here. This council was elected 1 year ago for a 4-year term under new legislation brought forward by the provincial government. This presented a longer planning horizon for major projects and policies to be developed and implemented. With this in mind, our council met early in 2015 to discuss our aspirations and values. The result of these sessions was the creation of the 2015-2019 Strategic Plan, a document that articulates our goals and our clear choice in directions. This was not just an exercise to fulfill our governance responsibilities, but a critical way to advance our community and help us achieve our vision. The 2015 to 2019 Strategic Plan outlines 5 primary goals: live within our means, a connected community, environmental protection, revitalizing the economy and livability, and responsive government. I would like to take this opportunity tonight to touch on each one of these areas and the progress we are making towards achieving our goals. Living within our means is a principle that this council is firmly committed to. As part of this goal, we are seeking to minimize tax increases for residential taxpayers, ensure efficient utilization of tax dollars, and increase our non-tax revenues. Under this goal, we have withdrawn from both the Franklin River Fire Service Agreement and the provision of commercial garbage collection. We've undertaken a review of our permissive tax exemption criteria. We have completed a competitive RFP process for investment management services, and we've begun lobbying for reduced service fees from the Vancouver Island Regional Library. We've also identified and advanced alternate service delivery methods, such as the partnership agreement for Central Park in the Uptown area. These initiatives support our goal and the city's ability to meet future service expectations. Having a connected community means that we have a diverse, safe, and efficient transportation network that supports our economy and everyday life. The city has continued to support a number of regional transportation initiatives, including a second connector route to the Inland Highway, a ring road to allow industrial traffic to bypass our urban streets, the upgrading and establishment of the Vancouver Island Rail Service, and the expansion of the Alberni Valley Regional Airport. The City of Port Alberni has been very active in supporting the latter initiative, and I'm pleased to see this moving forward and with a considerable aviation development opportunity awaiting its completion. Looking within our boundaries, Council also will be considering funding the development of a waterfront industrial truck route during this year's budget deliberations. The City has also continued to move forward with enhancements to our active transportation network. Notably, we've created a much-needed recreational trail connection through the Roger Creek Ravine, recently named the Scott Kenny Trail. This project was done in partnership with West Coast Aquatic, with funding assistance secured through the province. The expansion of this network will continue, with trails eventually connecting to Victoria Quay thanks to our acquisition of the former Tidebrook Motel property. These improvements will be connected with additional trail maps and signage. To be environmental stewards, we must work to protect water, air, and land quality. That is why the city is investing heavily in water and sewer infrastructure to lessen our impact on the environment. A new UV water treatment facility has just been completed, and ongoing upgrades to our wastewater treatment system will increase our capacity and improve water quality in the Alberni Harbour and Somas Estuary. In addition, a new conservation-based water and sewer rate structure has now taken effect that will help ensure the sustainability of these services. City Council has also provided leadership on important environmental issues. Through a community-based approach, we studied and considered the Raven Underground Coal Project and established a position in support of the community and our environment. We also continue to work closely with stakeholders on management of our watershed to protect the natural ecosystem functions that provide our renowned drinking water. Council has also provided direction to further curtail outdoor burning in 2016, an important step towards improving air quality in our valley. As a council, we want to ensure that our community is inviting, attracting, and welcoming investment and business. Establishing competitive hosting conditions and high quality of life features are central to this work. This past summer, we installed additional planter boxes along Johnson Road to help beautify our main corridor and worked with the Ministry of Transportation to establish plans for additional streetscape and traffic improvements in the coming years. City Council has also established a new lease agreement with the Port Alberni Port Authority for Clutha Haven Marina. The new agreement includes terms for our organizations to jointly pursue a commercial development on the site and ensure our community capitalizes on this key property. The request for proposals for this development has just been issued by staff, and Council looks forward to securing an innovative partner and concept. As an organization, the city must strive to be nimble and responsive to the needs of residents and businesses. This is why our council created 4 new committees to engage residents and gather feedback regarding youth, seniors, food security and climate change, and the McLean Mill. These committees have all been established and are now bringing forward important recommendations to make our community more age-friendly, resilient, and prosperous. To ensure that we deliver municipal services in the most cost-effective way, City Council also undertook an organization and compensation review this past year. While Council has fully endorsed the overall directions contained in the report, certain recommendations are still being contemplated by City Council and are being held in closed sessions due to personnel matters. I expect this work to conclude early in 2016 and anticipate positive outcomes for our organization. The city is also rolling out new e-billing software in January that will allow customers to receive their utility and tax bills electronically. This new online service is a secure, all-in-one service that allows homeowners and businesses to access information about their City of Port Alberni accounts. Finally, 2015 also saw the city distribute $350,000 in grants from the Alberni Valley Community Forest. These funds were distributed to 6 organizations that are undertaking valuable projects that benefit our community's social and economic well-being. The city, as an entity, brings us together through our collective interests. Moving these interests forward in a meaningful way requires courage, cooperation, and determination from all of us. If you look around this community, you can see scores of examples, everyday folks with passion and commitment that are making a difference for Port Alberni. Whether it is sports, culture, heritage, social, environmental, or economic, we need everyone's passion to achieve a stronger, more vibrant, and united community. That is why the people of Port Alberni are truly our greatest asset. My thanks go to the many citizens who volunteer their valuable time to serve on the city's boards, commissions, and committees. Specifically, I want to thank Chris Kalkloff, Linda Kelsel, and Gail Stephen Player, whose terms on the Advisory Planning Commission and Heritage Commission conclude this year. I would like to welcome John Douglas, Hedley Crowther, Mark Milan, and Libby Manson as new appointees. I would also like to recognize and thank all the members of our staff who work hard and provide such valued services. Special thanks to Linda Scobie, Dave Kappas, John Shute, Mike Mallon, Joan Nimmo, Janine Langford, Phil Lozon, and Scott Kenny, who all retired this year. Starting immediately, we will be turning our attention to the 2016 budget process. Property taxes are a significant issue for many in our community. The distribution of overall taxes between residential, business, and industry has shifted dramatically over the last decade. While industry once shouldered the majority of the tax burden, residential taxpayers now assume this position. This shift is still ongoing and has been purposefully done by preceding councils to reduce the city's reliance on industry and support their viability. I think it's not only healthy, but prudent for our community to engage in a conversation about our taxes, their distribution, and how they are influencing the city. There are many options before us, but it will take time and thoughtful and responsible planning to achieve any outcome we seek. The city's budget is an expression of values and philosophy, not just financial figures and money. To believe that the budget process is all about property taxes is incorrect. How the budget is allocated and spent matters. Residents and businesses care about and depend upon many of our services, and that is why the reaction to it is so strong. There will be vigorous debate on the difficult choices to be made, but I know that with respect and mutual trust, we can reach consensus. There will be broad public participation and involvement in this process and others that the city embarks on over the coming years. An involved community facilitates good policy and projects as such, and as such, citizen engagement will continue to be part of how we do business. This summarizes the very important progress City Council has made in its first year. We've become a tight, cohesive group that doesn't necessarily agree on all issues, nor should we, but support the final decision once made. We thank all of you for your trust, encouragement, and your willingness to participate in the positive future directions of our city. So, now we're on to the fun stuff. The 25-year Employee Recognition Awards. And we have presentations of 25-year Employee Recognition Awards. I get to hand them out.
City Manager to introduce the first of our several long service employees this evening, and Ken will introduce Tim Ply.
I've just been reminded by one of our council that I forgot a very important thing, which is I need a motion to that the city council address presented by the mayor.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor, that we accept presented by the mayor report. Annual address. So I'll make, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is indeed an honor for me this evening to be able to recognize our fire chief on the occasion of his 25 years of service to the municipality. Now, you think you know a guy when you work with him for 25 years, but I thought, well, I better have a look in his employment folder just in preparing his remarks. And so I'd like to say that tonight I'm recognizing Timothy Willem Ply for 25 years of service to the city of Port Alberni, which incorporates 15 years as a chief officer, about 6 as deputy chief, and 9 as chief since 2007. Now, Tim is a born and raised Albernian, not actually an Albernian, a Beaufortite, which is a specific kind of Port Albernian. Born and raised here, graduated from ADSS in 1980. That's giving away your age, Tim, I know that. Tim was a sports guy his whole life. Sports was the thing: rugby, hockey, basketball, skiing, hiking, and kayaking. He listed on his resume when he applied for the job. And went off to university in that regard, to UBC, and obtained a bachelor's degree in, you guessed it, physical education, supporting his sports interests. After graduating, as young men often do, he went traveling. He traveled the South Seas, and being from Beaufort, became enamored of sheep farms in Australia for a time, but did come back to Port Alberni. In 1988, he returned to the Alberni Valley and worked in a number of jobs, including farming-related jobs and logging jobs in the valley, until he saw the light and applied to the city of Port Alberni to be a firefighter in 1990. Now, Tim had some obvious qualifications. He was fit. He was very handy with regard to all of his farming expertise and such, and he was also very honest. He noted in his application that he had only 9 points on his license at the time that he applied. Shortly after that, Tim really put down roots in the valley with the birth of his family, his son McQuina and daughter Reagan, who still reside in the community. And I'd like to recognize that Tim is here with his partner Lori this evening. Thanks for coming, Lori. So Tim has always been a guy that wants to better himself. That's been his mantra. And when I looked in his folder, I never have seen as much evidence of continuing education and training as I did in Tim's folder. It was just jammed with certificates and recognition of all sorts of training that he has done. A couple that I'd like to touch on. One is he was a graduate in 1992 of the Toastmaster Leadership Program. Now, those of you that have seen Tim's verbal reports will know Tim is a very good public speaker, and that's probably partly at least in connection with his Toastmasters skills. He also worked hard for a number of years and obtained a diploma in public service management from the University of Victoria, which I can say, as somebody who almost got that but didn't quite, that it's a lot of work. And Tim was diligent and worked his way through all of those courses and was successful in 2006 in obtaining that diploma. So good for you, Tim. And I think Tim's skills have been enhanced dramatically because of that. Tim's also been a volunteer in his organization or in his profession, and in 2010 took a leave and went to the Winter Games in Whistler to volunteer in a public safety capacity. And he's also always been active in his organization, the Chiefs Association, and over the past 2 years has served as the president of the BC Fire Chiefs Association, which is a very high-profile position in this province, and so brings credit to the city of Port Alberni when he represents us outside of our boundaries. So without any further ado, I would like to thank Tim for all of his work and service over 25 years of dedication to the city of Port Alberni. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'm here to present a 25-year recognition award with yourself to Ron York. 25 years ago, Ron York started working at the Works Yard. He started as a painter mechanic, and he held this position as a temporary position for 4 years before he became full-time as a light-duty and heavy-duty mechanic for the city. Ever since. Ron started with us in 1990 when we used to spread used engine oil in the lanes for dust control. We also had a forge where we would make spare parts when required. Some of the old piece of equipment that Ron worked on when he first started was a 3-wheeled sweeper. We also had a 1965 Austin Western grader, 4-wheel drive Austin Western grader that Ron worked on. We have over 100 pieces of equipment in our fleet, and Ron has worked on every single one of them, and he knows how to operate them. Back then, there was no computer sensors there to tell you how much oil to apply to the lanes, or how deep or what angle the grader blade would be on. But those are how things have changed over the last 25 years, where today there's often 2 or 3 different computers on a particular vehicle controlling all aspects of how the machine operates. And Ron and his team have maintained all of those pieces of equipment for us very, very well. But I don't want to forget the diesel generators that Ron works on. These are the diesel generators that provide power for all city facilities when the power goes out. The lagoon aerators is another essential piece of equipment that Ron works very hard on. And as well as all the building systems that we have in our facilities, Ron's very familiar with them. He's worked on every single building that we've had. Our mechanics are basically really amazing people, and Ron is our chief mechanic. Ron is our charge hands of mechanic, and he leads our team in operating our facilities and our equipment. Chief mechanic. This is a word, Mr. Mayor, that I used when we were applying for grant funding applications to replace the Argyle Street pump station. Clearly, the Argyle Street pump station was on its last legs, and Ron York reminded me of this several times, and each year we'd put in a grant application, but we were denied. But this last grant application that I put in, I had this specific line, and I said, our chief mechanic has told us that this pump station can fail at any time. And it was a powerful line in a multi-page application. But when the funders take a look at that, like, they have some obligation, they have some responsibility to help us manage this. But it was a line that I'm pretty sure gave us that tick mark, that gave us that infrastructure grant funding for $530,000. And I thank Ron for his encouragement to keep pushing hard on this, because it is a piece of equipment that was over 50 years old, and it really was on its last legs. Ron's partner is Diane, and they live on a beautiful acreage in Beaver Creek, and they raise horses and chickens, and they also raise racing cars, and it's a passion that he shares with Diane, and they're very good at it. Ron carries his attention to detail home to his racing cars and his sport. Ron's son is Jesse. He's 23 years old, and he's studying in Nanaimo. We all know Ron is a hard worker, and he clearly shares his ideas with us on occasion. And he influences the way we do business at the works yard and in and around. And it's always appreciative when Ron comes up and shares some of these strong, heartfelt feelings that he has for the way things are done. But on that note, Ron, I'd like to thank you for your 25 years of great service to the city of Port Alberni, and I'd like you to come up and accept this gift of our appreciation.
Thank you. Tonight we're honoring 125 years of service in the Parks, Recreation and Heritage Department. The 5 recipients tonight are employees who often work behind the scenes to ensure this city as a department that citizens can be proud of. The quality of the programs and services delivered by these employees and their colleagues are key to achieving City Council's vision of a vibrant community. Each one of these individuals directly contributes to the achievement of many of Council's strategic goals, especially the goal of livability through enriching the quality of life for citizens and visitors. Whether it's ensuring that we maintain top-notch facilities that operate smoothly or developing and delivering programs and services to the public, our 5 recipients tonight should be proud of the contribution they have made to our department and community. And we should be thankful for their dedication and commitment to this community. And I think it's evidenced by the number of their colleagues and family members who've shown up here tonight to support these 5 people who work within this department. Before I introduce each of the recipients, I would like to talk about the remarkable qualities of all of these employees so that I don't have to repeat it 5 times. All of them are hardworking and passionately dedicated to serving the Parks, Recreation and Heritage Department and the taxpayers of Port Alberni. They also demonstrate their caring and commitment by always being available and committed to whatever job task they are working on. For each of these individuals, their work is more than a job, as each of them demonstrates a personal commitment and caring attitude. All of these employees work above and beyond to ensure that they meet the goals of the department and the needs of the customers. In each of their cases, I could tell you stories about how members of our community have been positively impacted by their contribution that each of them have made, and read many notes of thanks and appreciation that the department has received about these employees. However, time does not permit that. So individually, I'd like to call each person up, and I'd like to have their supervisors actually come with them for the photo part of it. To start with, Dave Shanks, and their supervisors, Mark Zanko and Jacob Coline. As with all of tonight's recipients, Dave started work with the city in 1990. Dave was hired on as a small motors mechanic out of the parts yard and has held this position throughout his career with the city. Dave holds a certificate as an auto mechanic and worked for 13 years at a variety of locations, including TMP Auto Service, prior to joining the city. While Dave's shop is at the parks yard, Dave works behind the scenes in all of our facilities, making sure they continue to operate in an effective and efficient manner. Dave is responsible for ensuring the systems operate, and he is continuously supporting facility staff in addressing issues as they arrive. Dave's strengths is in his versatility and ability to troubleshoot in a wide range of areas. Just as important is his friendly and supportive demeanor as he comes into contact with staff and public throughout the city. Dave's sense of humor and willingness to take on a wide array of tasks make him an asset for the department and the city. Congratulations, Dave. No, I want Jacob and Mark in the picture. It'll be later. And Jacob, if you could stay here. Jacob. Next, Stacy Watton. Stacy, do you want to start moving forward? Stacy started her employment with the city at the arena as a program assistant, taking on a wide range of tasks, including skate instructor, concession, and cashier. She soon moved into building maintenance, including work at the Multiplex, Aquatic Center, and Echo Center. Stacy worked in seasonal postings at Parks Yard in 1998 and posted into the Equipment Operator 1 position in 2010, which she currently works in. Stacy is an asset to the Parks Yard as she does a great job mentoring our summer seasonals. Stacy takes pride in her work and ensures that all of her equipment is operated effectively in order to ensure safety and longevity of the equipment, which I know the mechanics really appreciate. In addition, Stacy has been active in QP Local 118, taking on a variety of roles, including Safety Committee Representative, Shop Steward, Executive Member, and the role she currently holds as President. In all of her roles, Stacy does an excellent job supporting and advocating for union members, but also working cooperatively with city management in the best interest of all employees in the city. Congratulations, Stacy. Shelley Harding and Supervisor Jamie Morton, if you could come forward. Shelley is the educational curator at the museum. Over the past 25 years, Shelley has put this museum on the map with her wide range of creative educational and community programming. Her high-quality curriculum-based school programs, special events, heritage walks, book launches, exhibit openings, birthday parties, sleepovers, tourism initiatives, millworts, Santa Train, summer camps, first night, heritage fair, and it goes on and on and on in terms of Shelley's creativity and contribution. It wasn't enough to be doing all the public and school programs. Shelley wanted to curate exhibits as well, notably the Face's first exhibit of Ron Hamilton's photographs and overseeing exhibits at the Maritime Discovery Center. She liaises with teachers, school officials, PACs, our partner societies, students, volunteers, and sororities. The list of her contributions could go on. Shelley's dedication and passion is shown in all that she undertakes. She is supportive of her colleagues and the many visitors at the museum. Whether it be assisting someone to discover personal or local history or working with the civilization class at the high school, Shelley's caring approach creates a personal connection and a warm welcome to the museum. Congratulations, Shelley. Thank you. Stephanie Souzier and supervisors Lori LaRue and Mark Zenko. If it could start coming forward. Stephanie has worked for the past 25 years as a maintenance assistant in the department. While the majority of the time she's worked at Echo Center and the Aquatic Center, she has worked in all of the Parks and Recreation and Heritage facilities. Stephanie epitomizes the dedication of our maintenance staff to ensuring the taxpayers can take pride in their facilities as they are maintained to high standards, and to assisting user groups by ensuring their needs are taken care of. Without our building maintenance staff hard work and dedication, the vast array of programs and events that take place in our facilities would be jeopardized. Stephanie always took pride in her work and often went way above and beyond duty to meet the needs of users and staff alike. Stephanie's supervisors always appreciated her willingness to pitch in and help out. Whenever she was called upon to help out, whether it be extra shifts or extending her hours, she did not hesitate to positively respond. She is gregarious and positive, always having time to talk with customers and staff. Stephanie retired this past August, and while we miss her at work, we see that her there enjoying the many programs that she used to set up for. Congratulations, Stephanie. Okay. Janice and Steve. Janice, do you want to come forward? Janice Kendrick. Janice is the concession coordinator at the multiplex, a position she has held since 2006. Prior to taking on this position, Janice was a program assistant working in the concession and as a cashier. Janice is responsible for overseeing the concession operation, which includes all of the ordering and running of the concessions. During Bulldogs games, Janice supervises the volunteers in the upper concession and assists them in coping with the demands of the very busy operation. She does so calmly and ensuring that she is delivering great customer service to both the concession customers and the volunteers. Janice takes great pride in her work. In addition, Janice works with the other multiplex staff to ensure the concession staff are well trained in providing good service. Janice's positive attitude goes a long way to ensuring that we provide good concession services for the visitors at the multiplex. Congratulations, Janice. So ladies and gentlemen, before you we have over a century of knowledge, skill, wisdom, and dedication. And most importantly, 5 people who truly care about this department and the opportunities we have to be in service to the taxpayers and citizens of Port Alberni. These are people who go above and beyond to enrich the lives of citizens through parks, recreation, and heritage. Thank you very much.
So council, when you do the math on that, that's 175 years of service to the city of Port Alberni. That's quite amazing. This brings us to our next item, regional district directors. We have a motion in front of you, council, to appoint myself and Councillor McClellan to the positions of Director of the Alberni-Clayoquot Regional District, and then the alternates in order listed on the page. Need a motion to make that? To make that happen?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Seconder? Second, Mr. Mayor. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And note, if there's an alternate attends a meeting, they are allocated the voting strength of the director that they replace. Where 2 alternates attend as directors, the larger voting shares shall be assigned to the councillor appearing first on the above list, which only matters if it's something to do with money. And on the Vancouver Island Library Board, we have a letter dated November 5th, 2015, requesting consideration of the city's representative to the Vancouver Island Regional Library Board. And we have a motion to appoint Councillor Minions to VIRL Board for a term of 1 year, January 1st to December 31st, 2016. And that myself be the alternate. Need someone to make that motion, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor. New microphones.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. I just haven't turned mine off. And we have, for mayor, appointments to committees and commissions. We have a committee and acting mayor appointments. They are attached. We need a motion to adopt that as circulated. Somebody like to make that motion?
Mr.
I'd make
Mayor.
that motion, Mr. Mayor, with one amendment. I'd like to amend the Personnel Committee to have 2 alternates, Ron Paulson and Dennis Sauvé.
Is there a seconder for that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. And we have schedules of meetings, council. We need to adopt the meeting schedules of council and its committees, which are attached. Motion for the regular meetings would be in order.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor, that the 2016 annual regular meeting schedule of City Council be approved and circulated.
Is there a seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. And for the meeting schedule for committee and commission meetings, somebody like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor, that the 2016 meeting schedules for the Advisory Planning Commission, Alberni Valley Heritage Commission, Audit Committee, Advisory Traffic Committee, Food and Security and Climate Change Committee, and Seniors Advisory Committee be approved as circulated.
Is there a seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All
I mean,
those in
second.
favor? Carried. Now, to everybody, because I'm not going to be here next Monday, but Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody. And I want to make a particular note, thanks to Island Timber for donating the Christmas tree, which is in our lobby, and to staff for taking the time to decorate it and make sure that it was standing upright, unlike mine at home. And to the Blue Marlin Inn for the sail pass in the harbor yesterday, in spite of the weather. It was shorter than I thought, but nobody blew into the harbor, so things worked well. So a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, everybody, for attending this organizational meeting.